Welcome back, everybody, to episode 3 of Beardsly's Daily Dose. I am your host, Beardsly, and I am joined today with my two closest friends, Jake and Christina.
Hola!
We are super excited to be back again this week to bring you more of our internet antics. And we found a couple of good threads to go through today, and that's hopefully you're gonna like them, because the one that I'm talking about is something I'm really I want to say passionate, but I don't know if passionate's a word. I am passionate about it, but I'm also confused at this point in time in my life about it, if that
Fair enough.
Yeah, and you'll see when it comes up.
Okay.
So we'll just jump right into that, and we'll start from there. Mine is coming today from the subreddit of Unpopular Opinion, and it is written by Fluffy Ad 1398. Fluffy Ad 1398. The title reads, "Ghosts, the afterlife, heaven, another realm, whatever the term is real." I don't know if this is I'm just going to say they continue on to say, "I never remember my dreams, never have except one." And I mean, I remember every single detail. Months after my grandmother died, I was dreaming that I was in my aunt's house waiting in her kitchen for her to come downstairs. And then my grandmother came through the door, and I suddenly had this overwhelming feeling seeing her. Like something hit me or added itself to me, for I felt heavier. More weight to myself, and suddenly was aware I was dreaming. Like I knew this was a dream, even as she was talking to me in the dream state, asking if I wanted to come with her to her house for coffee. Our talks were always over coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't answer because I knew it wasn't real, and she wasn't reacting to me knowing it wasn't real. And instead, as if I was answering, playing along with the dream, she told me to follow her, and I got up but stopped and started crying. She asked me what was wrong, and that didn't feel like a dream. It felt like she could see that I couldn't answer her. Just through the tears, I asked her if she was okay, because I didn't want to play along with the dream, because I wasn't dreaming, but somehow in the dream, and that is all I wanted to know. She smiled at me, laughed, and came over and hugged me. I felt her weight. I smelt the cigarettes she always smelt of, and I hugged her back. It felt so real, not like the rest of the surroundings. And she answered me. She told me yes, she was okay and not to worry. I woke up, not with a jolt, but easy, like my eyes just opened without needing scratched or feeling groggy. Like I had been awake somehow that time and wasn't asleep. I remember it years later now perfectly, never feel the need to write it down because it is etched in my brain, not as a dream but as a memory, and I haven't cried about her passing since because she told me she was okay. This is how I know, as someone who isn't religious or into the supernatural, that there must be something after death. Now, why I said earlier that I am passionate about this, but now confused, and not necessarily confused, just more so like not sure of the stance, is I have experienced a supernatural experience.
Yeah.
Through my own person, also through my child when she was younger. And I like, there's no doubt in my mind that what I experienced was correct. It wasn't a figment of my imagination. It wasn't me drunk or high or whatever and imagining it. Like this, it really happened. And it was multiple times. I can count at least 6 times. Recently, I have come to the conclusion that I'm an atheist, and I don't believe in gods or devil or hell or heaven or anything like that. Now, that being said, that's where I'm confused, because I don't believe in gods and heavens and hells and devils. Is that I mean, those are different entities from supernatural beings, I guess, because their spirits I think they're defined as spirits, not necessarily demons, not necessarily angels, because they're neither good nor bad. They're just, but then again, had like demons, are those real? Even though there's no God, is it just a God that you don't believe in, or is a demon or the devil a god that you don't acknowledge as a god?
Wow, you're getting like into it right now,
Bro,
brother.
when I read this today, I was like, this is the one, because yes, there's not really much we can debate on this other than the fact of we're going to give us our opinions on whether we think it's a real thing and we believe in it or not.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so we don't have to delve into that deepness, but it's like those are the thought processes I have on it, because it literally, and it didn't hit me until I read this today, because at the end where they wrote, "This is how I know as someone who isn't religious." But you think of people consider interactions with the supernatural as spiritual.
Right.
Religion and spiritual, is that different? Or can you be spiritual in religion?
Well, I mean, of course, I think you can not be religious, but be spiritual.
Yeah, there's a stark distinction, because if you're a spiritual person, then that can mean a whole bunch of things. Like, it's not, but like if you're religious, it's because you're devout to your faith, to your creed, to whatever it is that you're practicing.
Right. And that makes sense.
But there are people who are religious who are also not very spiritual people. I think that this, my opinion is that to be like, being spiritual is being like, it's not just about like experiencing supernatural things. I think it also kind of goes into play like being very, being self-aware and being aware of like your surroundings and like the energies that people give off. And I think that, I personally believe that if, we don't know, like, we don't really know what there is. We don't, least of all me. So I'm not one to say yay or nay to any of it, because it could be, demons could be there, and then there could be darker energies, but then there's also positive things. And I do believe in like shit like that.
Yeah.
There's a meditation aspect of it, runes, but then there's also, I think there's angels, and I think there are demons, and I think there are spirits, which are leftover human energies that haven't gone and moved on and fucked off to the next life.
Well, then, so how do spirits become demons or angels? And that's one of the things that I think about too, is like, if there's not a higher being to I guess appoint is the word, demote, if you're going to be a demon, like, who decides, how does somebody become a demon or an angel? If
I don't believe that that's how it works. I don't think that we
true.
die and go up or down. I think that we die and we go back out into the world, or out into like whatever, but I think we as humans are our own separate life force, with like, because there is a life force. Like, we do emit frequencies and all that kind of. This is going to turn to a conspiracy theorist podcast. We do like legitimately emit frequencies. Like we do emit energy.
Right.
We use energy. Like we are energetic things. That's what we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Well,
I
on
think
another
getting-
Reddit post I saw today, like the markings that we have actually faintly glow under like they're like so, and it's all vibrations, man, right? It's really interesting just to kind of hijack that for a second, as in terms of the idea of like the life force, like there is a distinct difference between living and dead. There is a transition of that phase, this is stuff I'm pulling out of the reaches of my general I've read around on the internet knowledge, but like, our energy doesn't just end, it changes form.
I mean, yes, I agree with both of you on that. I guess it's going to be a question we'll never know because we can't. There's no really scientific way you can find out who appoints an angel or who appoints a devil or a demon.
See, I think that shit's already been ordained.
Could it be?
I don't think ranks are added to. I think that those would be like, to me, like
maybe the way you live your life.
What's the word you call it? No, like not like they're not. We don't die and then turn into them. I think that they were already out there.
They're already out there.
I guess like primordial, primeval. Like they are.
They're already there. They're already in existence.
Yeah.
So okay, and then they just don't die. They just live forever and terrorize and do whatever.
Like D&D.
Yeah.
Like they're there. Some of them maybe have ascended, but they're there. They're made from the stuff of the cosmos.
Yeah.
That's me. That's what I like to think.
Well, I do believe in it, so I don't think that her opinion is unpopular because I do believe in it. I think like I said, I've experienced it. And that's the thing with how belief works. You can believe things because you experience them. And you know that, nobody else might not have that proof, but you have the proof. It happened to you. Right. How do you do an instant rewind? We don't DVR our brains.
Not yet.
And in any way that you could record it, somebody would still have that instant. This is fake. Oh, there's a cut mark. Oh, this is edited.
Yeah.
It's so quick to do that, and it's so easy to make a digital copy of something and edit it and make it untrue again.
Right, because when we don't understand something, we get scared.
Yeah. I do believe in it. I think that it's real.
You think an afterlife is real?
I don't think an afterlife is real. Well, yes, I do. Just not like in the terms of heaven or hell.
Yeah,
right.
Same.
I don't believe that we just go up to a gate and get access to the total, glories that we're living our lives here to experience after we die.
Can I make a point?
Yes.
I think that you get whatever you believe you're going to get. I think the way you live your life ends up becoming a indicator of that. And then I think when you die, if you in your core are like, man, I'm shitty, you're gonna get shitty.
Oh
gosh, I wish I had those feelings. I get like every so often, I'd say like every 3 months or so, I wake up in the middle of the night in a pure panic with the thought, I'm gonna die. And all I can envision is just the blackness, the nothing. Just maybe because I'm a redhead and I don't have a soul.
Maybe
but
that's what you're gonna get.
I have that fear. No, I really do have that fear. And I think that's, the main thing of like, oh, when I end, I end. Now, on one hand, there could be a comfort of, then I don't give a fuck because I like I've been under anesthesia. I didn't know what the fuck happened. I gave zero fucks until all of a sudden I'm coming to. And kind of being in that sort of like state of nothing before, when you experience surgeries or, or kind of in that consciousness is gone. So, I don't remember dreaming or anything under anesthesia. It was literally just like bloop, shut down, boop, restart. And so something that I use to comfort myself when I wake up in those panic attacks is, like, there's nothing in nature that isn't recycled one way or another. There is nothing in nature that doesn't have a purpose after its initial purpose is gone. And so my hope is that even, like, I would love to think that I sort of have a soul with eyes that can float around and experience things, or, maybe I'll have another life and I'll do some crazy hypnotherapy and I won't be a Cleopatra or Mary Queen of Scots, as everyone seems to be when they do those, and I'll remember like, oh yeah, I was a frazzled mother of 3 who really loved this lake that I'm looking at right now, and those weird deja vu moments.
Right.
But that's, I've been very spiritual. I've been very religious. I have had one, and this is, you guys know me. The audience doesn't quite know me yet, but I would say I'm like half hooey. I'm half hippie, like I like the idea of these things, but like I still have an analytical and scientific mind that kind of likes proof, and there's parts of the universe I understand are completely unknowable, but then I've had a few instances, and one experience that I would call a vision that made me think that there is if not a god, some kind of being, some kind of organizer, creator. There's just, you have those weird things that happen in life, those weird coincidences that put you on a path that make me hope that there is some reason, some meaning to it all, just other than live, breathe, eat, shit, die.
Right.
And fuck. Fucking should be a good part of that. We have to do that to continue our
supposed to find
genetic line.
Why you're here.
Well, you do what you can.
I mean,
but
what's
the point of it? What's the point of it is what I worry about. What's that? If I just become nothing, then what was the point? I could be a piece of shit then, and
right. But so back to what you said before you started all this was when you said, I just see black. I see an emptiness. And then you said, maybe it's because I'm a ginger and I don't have a soul. That made me think, are there any other redheaded gingers out there that have that same thought process? Like maybe it's been drilled into their mind so much that they don't have a soul, that they don't see an afterlife. If you're listening right now and you're a ginger, please comment down below and tell us if you see an afterlife or if you see just blackness and nothingness because you feel you don't have a soul to even take into an afterlife. And that's not being rude. It's literally like, it seems like a joke.
What if?
No,
I'm here for it.
What if it's real? We don't know.
I think we're all equally stoned enough to really be like, this is a rabbit hole we have not explored, and we absolutely need to crowdsource this
rabbit hole would be
information.
really good to keep exploring down in our comments. So please let us know what you think. Let us know if you believe there's an afterlife. Whether it's a heaven or hell, please try to keep it friendly. We know how religions and politics get, and we don't want to really create a negative environment. So please keep that in mind. But yeah, let us know what you think below.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think we all believe, Fluffy _AD1398, that there is some sort of afterlife, in that you felt what you felt because that's who you are.
So, I've been doing some thinking about our post-apocalyptic world that we kind of started brain palacing on episode 1.
Okay.
And I've come up with some executive decisions.
Well, you do like to be in control, so.
That's very true.
Yes, yeah. So, the bombs dropped, right? Somewhere around 2045.
It's not far from here.
No,
it's not. Around 2045. It was after a solid 10 years of peace. And then, as is foretold, the end came. However, there were, outside of our knowledge, observers waiting for this collapse to happen. And when it did, some of them sent like infiltrators and spies and sleeper cells down to our planet. And they posed as us in the 2 decades prior to the bombs dropping. And in the midst of this, these are scientists, celebrities, politicians, all of it. Normal folk too. They started tweaking the nuclear fission and whatever you want to call it, the process, which altered the nuclear bombs. The stuff inside them was changed by this super high tech stuff, and that's what allowed it to start binding to our genes. Because these observers have been watching forever. So here's what goes down. Centuries pass. I don't know if centuries, a few hundred years pass, right? Maybe 1 or 2.
A few hundred is still centuries.
Okay, I just didn't know. I think these observers that us modern day folk would have called aliens had we encountered them, have taken on this status of deification. So these are your gods and your infernal creatures. These are ones that have made contact with humans to give them abilities, maybe like venom, maybe like a pact. And these are your the healers of the world will have these shitty temples built out of sandstone that worship some. These are the gods of this world, I think.
There you go. Also, that's exciting.
Isn't that cool? I also it's the world, the tectonic plates were shoved back together.
Oh, so we're back to Pangea.
It's New Pangea.
Pangea.
It's New Pangea. Still all the climates around, but everything was forced together, and that alone caused a lot of issues. And still to this day, there were dormant volcanoes that got crushed as the plate shifted, that just burst like a cyst, and it
also brings up there's no getting away from people.
Exactly. That's why quickly, I mean, there was so much chaos that any survivors took hold. If they started to get people in a band, in a group, and they're traveling, it became like these gangs turning these small places into cities and stuff. And me, the warlord person that I personified in episode 1, is one of the people who's been around since it happened. So he's very, I mean, he's still young and handsome, but he's
right, of course.
He's gone through it all. Crashed through volcanoes and floods and hurricanes and all that shit. But in the desert, in the broken Mojave Desert, roams a shinobi Ronin.
A shinobi Ronin.
Guarding a small caravan of 3 large families from their burnt down city to the city of the Brain Murmur.
The Brain Murmur.
Yes, the red-headed Jezebel who can control anybody at the...
Don't give away too much.
No, I'm just
Dude, I'm here for this.
I have all this. I have this whole thing cooking right now.
I have one question that I'm super excited to ask about this.
Okay.
How awesome would it be to be able to walk from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth without having to cross water?
Be pretty great.
It'd be a long time, but I think that would be an adventure.
It would
That
be.
would be an adventure.
Especially in that type of setting. Like things are run down, and you're like, if you almost imagine I Am Legend, setting in I Am Legend, but like that, and like there's metropolitan areas that are just taken over by vines and trees and jungle, and then you go from that to ice to snow to jungles, and then but different settings of life, like poverty, rich, like industrial, farmland, like just all those different things.
Well, I think in a situation like that too, like the human race, despite the fact that not everybody, but a lot of people become evolved, they still revert back to that simple way of living.
Right.
Even under oppression. And it's like people in the city, like being run by an undying man who is just a warlord, like they're going to be like, this is safe. You try to break them out of that, they're going to be like, no. Because the devil,
Right. Absolutely.
Well, guys, if you want to, learn or see more of this game that Jake is talking about, stay tuned for when we put it out on video. We're gonna stream it. Well, we're not gonna stream it. We are gonna record it so that way you guys can watch it. And when that comes out, we will definitely let you know. You'll know first if you're a member over on our Patreon page. So make sure you check there, because that's where we'll post it first, and then we'll probably hit all the other social medias a few days later. That way, our members have something to look forward to. So check it out, and we can't wait to record that one for you as well, because that's going to be a fun game. I can't wait.
So my topic tonight is not as esoteric as Devin's was. It's back over on Am I the Asshole? Because I like reading about people and messy situations. So my story tonight, I think, has a few layers, and I'm interested to see if you guys pick up on some of the things I was picking up on. Okay. It is from Deleted because, am I the asshole for telling my cousin to stop holding a grudge over something I did when I was 7? Okay, here we go. I, 17 female, have a cousin, Adrian, 30 female, who's always been seen as the black sheep of our family. She's neurodivergent and has a more alternative style. Think bright hair, tattoos, and piercings. We were never close because of the age gap, but our families wanted us to be close-knit. When Adrian turned 20, her family decided to visit us and celebrate her birthday together. Here's the problem. I was 7 at the time, and, well, I threw a tantrum. I wanted to go to a different restaurant than the one Adrian had picked, and I made such a fuss that everyone ended up staying home. First of all. Okay. As we go. Later, when they got a cake for Adrian, I insisted on blowing out the candles myself, and my parents let me do it because they didn't want to deal with another meltdown, and told Adrian she was too old to be making a fuss over her birthday anyway. Again. I honestly don't remember much from that day, but apparently it really hurt Adrian. She wasn't even allowed to celebrate with her friends like she wanted because she had to come on that family trip. Fast forward to now, and I'm applying to colleges, specifically in the state where Adrian lives. Over the years, I've come to realize just how toxic some of our family dynamics are. Thank you. And I reached out to Adrian to apologize for what happened when I was a kid. I told her that I understand now, and I asked if she could help me navigate things as I apply to schools in her area. Adrian pretty much brushed me off and told me she's still upset about what happened on her 20th birthday. I tried to explain that I was just a kid at the time and that I'm sorry, but she's holding on to grudges like it happened yesterday. I told her she needs to let it go, but she seems really stuck on it. My parents think she's being unreasonable, but I'm starting to wonder if I'm being insensitive to her feelings. So, Am I the asshole for telling my cousin to stop holding on to a grudge over something I did when I was 7? I don't want to lead with my opinion on
No,
this.
you need to. It's yours. You
Oh, it's
start.
mine?
Yep, you start it.
See, I feel like I don't want to influence the conversation because
you won't influence me.
there is, oh, that's so true. There is so much to unpack here. And I too have been forced on family obligation things that I didn't really want to do, but I did just to keep the peace, just to keep that one fucking asshole quiet. Right. And with the 7-year-old myself, if a cousin wanted to go to some restaurant that my 7-year-old didn't want to, kid, you're set. Who the heck is saying our entire family goes on the wishes of a 7-year-old?
Yeah.
First of all, fucked up. And then, no, let this kid blow out the candle because we can't handle a fuss. How spoiled was this child, right? Like, the poor Adrian. And then, I have an apology for you when I need something. Not before. Just, oh, now that I'm getting older and I'm realizing it and I kind of need your help. Hey, by the way, that thing that's been a sore spot between us. And you know what? I bet it doesn't even have much to do with OP itself, right? I believe it has to do more with Adrian being like, fuck these people.
Yeah.
And fuck everything else about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that deleted is the asshole. And there I am. That's my...
Yeah. I don't think deleted's the asshole. I think the whole family is.
Fair enough.
I do think if my cousin, I don't know, maybe I might be like, okay, you were like just a stupid kid, and then I'd like field them. But if I'm not probably as alternative as Adrienne is, and so the distance between her and her family are probably a little bit further. But I don't think Adrienne is in the wrong to be upset. I just think she is more mad at the family than she is at this person.
But still holds a small grudge because of the
that's true
consequences that she had to face because of her actions.
Yeah. On her birthday, that's true. On a trip she didn't even want to be on.
On her 20th birthday. I understand it's not like 21, but still. No, I mean, it does. That's now you're like an adult. You're not a teen anymore, right? It's a magical time. God, Jake.
I didn't look forward to being 20. I did look forward to being 21.
21
so
was more fun,
I understand.
Sure.
I understand it. Like the number's a number. Like you look forward to years in life for the benefits. Like you look forward to 25 for the insurance cut.
Yeah.
And then after that, you look forward to 65. Well, or if it doesn't keep going up every year for retirement.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, technically, you say I can retire now. But can you really? No, but that's another story. I don't think that the girl should hold a grudge against the poster, the OP, for the action that she did when she was 7. She was a child. Yeah. That, like, you're 20 years old when it happened, and she's 7. There's a 13-year age gap. Like, you are... are you really 20 if you can't understand that a 7-year-old... It wasn't the 7-year-old's fault. It was the parents of that 7-year-old that decided to make that decision because they didn't want to deal with their screaming, shitty kid. Sorry, OP. Not that's, you know what I mean? Not you in general, just generalized. I mean, but maybe because you were acting like a shitty kid. And
a screaming, shitting kid who was like, I don't want to eat at this restaurant. I want to blow out your candles. Now, listen, also to be fair, I think OP's an asshole for just waiting to apologize when she needs something.
And I didn't get to that part. So that would also be yes and no. And then this is what I was going to say about that, because what if she was looking to go to colleges in the state she lived in to maybe try to rekindle a relationship with the cousin? That wasn't said, but I thought about that.
Right.
Maybe that's why she was looking to go to college there, so that way she would be able to spend time with her cousin, because she knows that her family's a piece of shit and she was done wrong, and maybe she is trying to rekindle a relationship. Like I said, wasn't mentioned, but that thought popped into my head, so that's why I kind of didn't automatically think she was the asshole, or they. I'm sorry.
Just female, 17
oh,
female.
Okay, cool. So I think that they're both kind of just up in the air. They're both kind of being asshole-ish. You know, a grudge on a 7-year-old when you were 20, like, come on. But waiting to ask until you needed something, if that wasn't the case of you trying to rekindle a relationship, then that's kind of an asshole too. Yeah. So I think it's 50-50. I think they both have blame into this questioning of assholes.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years is a long time to hold a grudge against a 7-year-old.
Yeah, 100%. That's crazy.
That's fucking wild. Damn, I wish I had that luxury.
I wish I had the emptiness in my brain to hold on to something like that. Like, there's far too much in my head.
Doesn't mean that there's emptiness. Sometimes there's just beef you can't get over.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't have like that for that long. I would have forgotten about it. It would have been pushed out by something far more important. And then maybe if I saw that person again, I'd be like, oh yeah, but I wouldn't have to.
Right.
So today we learned that I have no soul and I will absolutely hold a fucking grudge.
Well, but I don't think we learned that today.
Yeah, we didn't. They did. The audience did.
Yeah.
I'm using the royal we.
The royal we. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. You have heard our sides on each of these amazing subreddits. Let us know what you think down in the comments. I know this is a podcast, but we also put it over on YouTube. So if you want to go watch the video, it'll be on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. Also be sure to check down in the description below for all of our social media links where you can find us: Discord, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, you name it. Well, we have it. So be sure to follow those and keep an eye out for any new content that comes out on any of those platforms. Other than that, I think that we have had a great evening tonight, and I look forward to next week's episode, and I can't wait to share more of our thought processes on different topics. Anything you guys have to say before we head out for the night?
I'm having a lot of fun with this, and this one felt like, I don't know, cooler or funner, or it didn't seem to like take as long, or I don't feel quite as nervous. So, I'm interested to see how we evolve. I think it's going to be fun. And I like hanging out with my homies. So it's good to see you guys, even for just an hour on a crazy hectic week.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I have one thing to say, and that's Betty Botter bought a bit of bitter butter.
A bit of Betty Butter. Betty Botter bit. Or boat. Or shit. I don't know, man.
Betty Botter bought a bit of bitter butter.
Betty Botter bought a bit of bitter butter.
Bitter butter, better bitty butter.
Did I do it?
Yeah. Betty Botter
fucking bought a bit nailed of it, bruh. Yeah.
Well, I can't do tongue twisters. We all know that. You guys all have a great night. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.